If we create a new NACL, are we not attaching default NACL? It's up to you whether you want to attach default NACL or whether you want to attach new NACL. So no need. If you create a new NACL, that means you want to be out of default NACL. So you no need to do it. It's up to you whether you want to use the default one or whether you want to use the new one. It's always better to go with the new. So if it is answered, please put CC. So guys, auto scaling. So what do we know about this auto scaling? What is auto scaling? Yes, scale out and then scaling. Do you remember? Scale out and then scaling. So auto scaling meaning scale out and scale in. We have learned already a bit here. So scale out and scale in. Scale in what? EC2 instances based on the load. Can we say that? Yes. So auto scaling meaning scale out and scaling EC2 instances based on the load is called auto scaling. So guys, here scale out meaning adding or removing. Adding. And scale in meaning removing. So can we say that whenever there is a traffic, whenever there is a demand on the traffic, auto scaling will scale out and scale in automatically? Yes. So I'll write here, whenever there is a demand on traffic, auto scaling group will scale out and scale in when there is demand. So let me put that diagram in real time. So definitely we'll have a load balancer here. This is my load balancer, and I have EC2 instances. Okay, these are EC2. So these are all EC2, 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 and EC2. And every EC2 will have its own application. Yes or no, guys? Redundancy. We should keep the same application on all the EC2 instances, right? Yes. Redundancy. We'll put our application here. And the load balancer is the guy who will be sending the traffic to all these EC2 instances. Okay. So basically, whenever there is a demand, I think this, okay, normally these EC2 instances are responding it. So just in case if you got any huge demand or huge traffic on the load balancer on the CLB, what will happen? This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 EC2 instances are sufficient. Guys, let's say for maybe in your Friday sale or Black Friday sale or occasion, Diwali sale, whichever it is, these five servers are sufficient to handle the load? No. So if it is not sufficient to handle the load, automatically what will happen, guys? Scale out will be happening. That meaning an additional EC2 instances will be created automatically. Additional EC2 instance will be created automatically. That meaning its scale out will happen. Scale out will be happening it automatically. How? How? Due to we will be creating something called auto scaling group. What we do it? Auto scaling group, ASG, auto scaling group. So it will scale out whenever there is a need, it will scale out, and whenever there is no need, it will scale in. Scale out, here I call it as scale out. Here also it will scale out. Scale out. Whenever there is no need, let's say for example, and there is no need, guys, after that what will happen? scale in will happen automatically, guys. And it has this application also here in the new EC2 instances. So that is the concept of auto scaling, right? Can we say also elasticity, guys? Elasticity, yes. And guys, who is monitoring our the load balancer used to do the monitoring using what? Do you remember we have health checks? Health checks, yes. And you tell me, load balancer does the health checks for application. Load balancer do the monitoring for application or EC2 instance? For application, very good. ELB does the health checks for the application. And who does the monitoring for EC2 instances? CloudWatch monitors EC2 instances. CloudWatch monitor EC2 instances. Getting it, guys? Is this clear? The whole concept of auto scaling. Is it clear till here, everyone? Nice. So in this auto scaling, guys, we have something called minimum maximum desired capacities. Let me write that. We have minimum, maximum, and then we call it as desired capacity. Minimum, maximum, desired capacities. What is this minimum, maximum, desired capacities, guys? So in this, isn't it? This one is an auto scaling group. Is a group. Okay. So in this group, guys, how many minimum EC2 instances that you want to have always running? It's up to you. Yes or no? But how many minimum you should keep it, guys? Minimum to minimum. 2. Is it good to call it as 1? If there is 1, do you have any high availability? No, no. So minimum should be 2. So is it? It should be always 2. Depend upon the requirement. I have huge traffic. That I can put it 5 also, 10 also. It's my wish. How many EC2 instances that you want to have it? It's my wish. So I'll say that the minimum number of EC2 instances that the auto scaling ASG group should have. Example, I'll say minimum as 2. Yeah. And how about the maximum? Same. The maximum number of EC2 instances that auto scaling group should have. The maximum number of EC2 instances auto scaling group have. So for example, here I put it example as maximum, put it 6. Guys, it's up to us, yes or no? So we can expect the capacity, na, guys, how many EC2 instances that we need to have in the group. So we can put it as maximum. I'll talk more on this, guys, here. And desired capacity meaning the number of EC2 instances that you wish or desired to launch initially. Meaning, let's say, guys, you are now setting up the auto scaling group. So guys, initially, before scale out happening, how many EC2 instances that you want to have initially? Give me some number. Should I put 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many EC2 instances that you wish to have initially? Here 4. Can I say desired capacity is 4 here? DC is equal to 4. Desired capacity 4. Everyone? Yes. And how many maximum that you want to have scale out? Maximum we'll put 6. And minimum you put 2. Minimum you put 2. Okay. Based on this now, let's do. So now, guys, remember scale out is happening. Guys, how many, can we say that minimum and maximum are boundaries? First of all, these two are boundaries, guys. These two, minimum and maximum, are, we can it as boundaries. Yes, these are boundaries. Okay. So now scale out is happening. right? Scale out, desired capacity. Initially, before scale out is happening, how many EC2 instances that you want to have in the group to handle your load? That is desired capacity, 4. So now 4 is running, that's fine. So now scale out is happening, guys. And one more EC2 instance has got launched. How many EC2 instances are there in total now at the moment? Everyone, 5. And scale out and demand got increased. One more EC2 instance got launched. How many EC2 instances are there now at the moment? 6. And the lot of demand increased. And will it go and launch one more EC2 instance here? Yes or no? Yes. So that is no here. That meaning, guys, it has reached the maximum value here, 6. Okay. This is not possible. Okay, now there is no much demand. Scaling is happening. So this got scaling. How many instances are there? 5. Now 4. Now 3. Now 2. Is it good? This will happen? No, because the minimum should be have mentioned it is here is 2. Now you got to understand what is the difference between minimum, maximum, desired capacity. So desired capacity is at the moment, how much is the desired capacity now based on this? Only 2. So desired capacity was 4, and now there is no need of having 4 EC2 instances because there is no load. Now it has went to 2. So desired capacity is the guy who will be moving here and there based on the load. Guys, do you understand everyone? Minimum, maximum capacities, guys? Desired capacity should be between minimum and maximum, obviously. Yes. Nice. And now we have something called, guys, 3 types of scaling options. What is this? 3 types of scaling options. Number 1, we call it as manual scaling, schedule scaling, and then dynamic scaling. Manual scaling, write down these 3 important certification questions. Manual scaling, schedule scaling, and dynamic scaling. So guys, what is this manual scaling? Manual scaling meaning, guys, if you are manually going and modifying this, okay, let's say for example, desired capacity is 4, guys, here. Now I have changed to 5. Desired capacity as 5. So that means it will go and launch one more EC2 instance. Yes or no? Yes. So you are going and modifying it manually. You are not checking the load and all. So if you are manually modifying minimum, if you are manually minimum, maximum, and DC, that is called manual scaling. And how about schedule scaling? Schedule scaling, guys, can we say that based on Friday only we need to have a scale out happening? Can we say that based on the time period or a day? On Friday, yeah, pre-planned. That is based on the timing, on the weekend, on the Saturday, on the Friday, based on the requirement. And whereas dynamic scaling, so dynamic scaling runtime, that meaning, yeah, based on load. Can we say that based on load automatically? So based on the load meaning it will check the CPU. Remember, it will check the CPU. It might check memory. It might check network, or it might check how many ELB requests. Guys, yes or no? So guys, all these CPU, metric, network, all these things we call it as, guys, metrics. What is that? We call it as, write down that word, metrics. We call it as metrics. Guys, who is the guy who is monitoring these metrics? Which service is that? CloudWatch, right? So all these metrics concept, we will see it in CloudWatch. But there should be a guy who should be monitoring our EC2 instance, there's a group, na? Guys, I'm telling you, in previous years, maybe 1 year back or few months back, we have to do a lot of thing on auto scaling, but now this auto scaling has become super intelligent by itself, that you don't need to configure any metrics. You just need to tell that, hey, out in this auto scaling group, my average CPU utilization should be 70%. You just need to give this input. That's it. And this auto scaling group will maintain the group average CPU utilization based on the value that you have given, 70%. And if it is going more than 70%, scale out will be happening. And if it is going less than 70%, scale in will be happening based on the load. Getting it, guys? Is this clear? Super. Now, question for you. Guys, whenever the scale out is happening, one new EC2 instance will launched. Yes or no? And that include our application also. How does this auto scaling know that it should have our application inside it? What is the concept that we will get it here? How does the application will have in our EC2 instance? AMI. Excellent. Excellent, guys. That's a certification question. So we need to give all kind of configuration beforehand only to the auto scaling group. Yes or no? So for that one, we call it as launch configurations, or you can call it as launch templates. Launch configuration or launch templates. So what does this launch configuration and launch template contains? Does it contains how many steps are there to launch an EC2 instance? 7 steps, right? So those 7 steps, like your AMI details, that AMI contain your application, runtime application. Yes or no? Yes. And inside that, what kind of how many volumes you should have, what security group, what key pair that you should have, what tags you should have, or which instance type that you should use. All these details you will be giving inside this launch configurations or launch templates. So what this auto scaling group will do is, what does this auto scaling group will do is, this auto scaling group will use this launch configuration. This auto scaling group will use what? Launch configurations. So from launch configuration, this auto scaling group will use it, and this auto scaling group will go and launch the EC2 instances here. Guys, scale out will be happening using this launch configuration. All the configuration details you have it, and EC2 instance will get launched using these configurations. Guys, is that clear? And you need if you want notification whenever it is getting launched or failed to launch or all these details, what is the service that you should integrate? SNS. So auto scaling group is the combination of, we should have ELB. Definitely we need to have ELB, and you need to have EC2 instances, and you need to have launch configs or templates, whichever, plus SNS if at all you need. Guys, is this clear on auto scaling? Everyone, any questions? All clear? Nice. What will trigger LC, sir? So auto scaling group this one, we have the average CPU utilization 70%. Whenever the average CPU utilization is 70%, auto scaling group will get trigger. But we in auto scaling group, we will link these launch configurations here. So whenever the scale out is happening, auto scaling group will take launch configuration, it will launch. So the trigger will be happening based on the CPU utilization that you have mentioned. AMI, whenever the scale out is happening, how does it launch a new EC2 instance, including our application inside this? Using the AMI. We have the AMI. Can we have our custom AMI inside that we have application? Yes, that's Arun. Scale out or scale in at that time, how does the ELB knows? ELB doesn't know anything here. Everything scale out and scaling will be happening will be done by auto scaling group. Load balancer will just doing the health checks to the EC to the application. That's it. Okay. Nice. The next important topic that you already know most of the thing here is elastic load balancer. Guys, ELB. What is ELB? ELB, which distribute the traffic to multiple EC2 instances across AZ, across availability zones. Yes? Yes. You tell me this ELB is completely managed by? Yes. ELB is completely managed by AWS. ELB is completely managed by AWS. ELB is a service or a server? It is not a server for us. It's a service for us. Guys, can you log into the ELB or can you access the ELB URL? Yes, you can access. You cannot log in. Remember, ELB can be accessed via URL. That meaning DNS name. Yes or no? You cannot log into ELB. Right? Yes. So now let me put that our ELB architecture that we know very well. This is the load balancer. We have it, the fatty one. So, and then we have the EC2 instances. Let's say I'm going and putting only 3. Okay. So inside this, we have this is all EC2. Buddy. This is EC2, EC2, and EC2. Guys, inside this, we'll put a sample application. Let's say, can we put index.html page? Yes, a small application. Yes, I can put index.html here, this. And then this load balancer is a guy who will be sending the traffic to the EC2 instances. Like this. And this is our ELB. Like so. And can I have this load balance? Can I have this in auto scaling group also? Yes, possible. I can set it in ASG. Auto scale. And how does it doing the monitoring? Load balancer. Load balancer is doing the monitoring using health checks. What is the status code that we'll expect? Status code is 200. So this we know very well. So this ELB will has the DNS name. Yes or no? Whenever we create a load balancer, AWS will give you the DNS name, nasty URL. So guys, Do you remember? I call it as nasty URL. The nasty URL meaning it looks like this. Do you remember nasty URL? So it will create a very bad URL like http:// if my ELB dot blah 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 some numbers dot and then ap minus south minus 1 dot elb dot aws dot amazon aws.com. It'll give like this. Is it good, guys, to give this URL to the customer? So which is a service where you can do the makeup for this? So instead of this big URL, I need to have something called http:// maybe boom.com. Yes, Route 53. Super. See how nicely you remember this. Very good. Boom.com. You getting it, guys? Nice. So the makeup will be happening here. Makeup will be happening here. Nice. Okay, so now you tell me, guys, does the load balancer has IP address? So you have a confusion here. Yes or no? Should I tell you a small chitty story? Yes or no? So that is my real time that it happened to me, right? So, you know, I work for a company where it handles all ships. Ships, you know, ships, right? In ocean, we have ships. So there are so many ships available on the ocean. These are all the ships. So, have you been into the ship? So we are the guys who develop. Did I tell you about what we do? No. So basically, we are the company where what we do is we have our softwares. We have our softwares on the ship where it shows the voyage planning and voyage optimization, everything. That meaning voyage optimization means, guys, how we have the GPRS here on the road. So for the ship, it has to go from one place to other place. That is called voyage, right? So how does it find the routes? We'll collect all the weather data automatically from the service providers, and we'll give a nice route to the captain that to travel from this route only, so that he's safe from all kind of big tides, currents, and whirlpools, and big like Bermuda triangles, all nasty things, or the Caribbean, the thieves, right? Yeah. So we see all these things, and then we'll give the nice route map to the captain, and also we develop a software where for the safety of for the pirates, Pirates of the Caribbean. Do you remember that? Yeah, we have so many pirates available in the oceans. So yeah, we develop all these things, the softwares, and then we'll place it in the ship. And what I do, is I collect. So we have the sensors on the ship, and we collect all the data from the ships to a satellite, and from there, the data will be collected on the cloud. So all these things I have architected it by myself, because the company doesn't know anything about the cloud and they want to have the data. So I architected the entire stuff to move the data from the ship to the cloud and to maintain all the data of the cloud in real time. So we do all these things, and the developers will take that entire raw data and they'll manipulate it and they'll put it in a nice website, and that website will be given to the customer, that means to the captain. And how is the fuel consumptions and route, whatnot. There are a hell lot of things there. Okay, that's the oral stuff here. And also I had a chance to go on the ship. Have you seen the engine room in Titanic movie? In movies. You saw the engine room, or you saw what is happening in the engine room? Okay, so whichever. So all right, so you have a very big boilers there, and then it looks very dangerous there. But yeah, anyways, so ship also has a network, yes or no? Inside that ship is also having network, because everything is IT there also. So do you agree that ship also have the firewalls inside it? So whatever the traffic which is going and coming, everything is getting monitored there. Firewall, yes. Every ship will have the firewall, its own firewall. It's because they have its own network. It's called ship network. Okay. So now they're all these ships are accessing my application. That meaning I have my load balancer and I have my EC2 instances, which I have the application inside it. Yes or no? So this is my load balancer, and load balancer is sending the traffic to my EC2 instances, which has the application inside it. So these are all the real time guys. I'm just giving you my experience. So okay. So now everyone started accessing my load balancer. Okay. Everyone started accessing my load balancer, my website basically. Everything it is working. But let's say, for example, when this ship is trying to access my application here, this guy says that, hey, you company guy, in my firewall, I need to add IP address of your application or website. This is the question that he has asked me. Hey, give me the IP address of your application. I need to put it in my firewall here. Guys, you tell me, is it possible to give the IP addresses of the load balancer? No. So I simply said that, hey, we are using AWS and it is not possible to give the IP address, and please use our website name called boom.com, for example. And he said that, no, I don't want to have a website name. I want IP address only. Please let us know. So can I debate to the customer saying that, hey, it is not provided. We are using a technology like this. And he's asking, Arey bhai, I'm just asking one IP address. Why? Why are you making such a big nonsense? So, no, you cannot. Here it is boom.com, and then he need to have an IP address for this. So guys, so definitely we know that ALB doesn't provide the IP address. Can you tell me here, do you remember I told you one command how to check the IP addresses of any website? Do you remember that command in starting days? Yes, NS lookup. So what I did, he said that if you give her the IP address, then only we'll continue, otherwise we'll drop the deal. So with bloody one IP address, can we drop a huge thousands of dollars profit business? No. And all our company heads and managers, they said, do something here, we cannot lose the customer. And for others it will be very simple, but those who are handling this architecture, they know the pain. So what I did, so I did the NS lookup for my application called boom.com, and I got the IP addresses. And I got IP address because this load balancer also has the IP address. Because when I do the NS lookup to the boom.com, boom.com is nothing but my load balancer only, na? So I got the IP address of my load balancer using NS lookup. I was very happy, and I have given this IP address to this guy, and he has added it here. And he has added it here. And it started working. And everyone appreciated, but blah, blah, boom, 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 nah? You great, da, 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 and all. So it worked fine for one day, and second day he started complaining, saying that, oh, it's not working. What's the problem? So the IP address that I have given got changed, and that is a dynamic IP. So we got to know that a load balancer has the IP address, but those IP addresses are dynamic. So how many times I have given the IP address also, he'll reply the same thing saying that for one day it will work, another day it doesn't work. So I sent an email to AWS saying that, hey, AWS, I need to have the static IPs cons to my load balancer. He said that not possible. I said, please do something here because we have the critical situation where customer is asking for it. And AWS says that, okay, so if I give it, the problem here is you are asking the static IPs for load balancer. You are asking static IPs for the load balancer. Guys, this is the load balancer. You tell me this load balancer is managed by AWS. Yes or no? This is managed by AWS. This load balancer is a service or a server for us. It is a service. So if thousands of millions of load is coming to the load balancer also, do we need to worry about it? We don't need to worry because it is managed by AWS clearly. So guys, it is a service for us. But do you agree that in the backend they'll have a servers in the backend for the load balancer? Obviously, yes. It is not doing any magic. Definitely, they'll be having the servers. Whenever there is a huge load, automatically the servers will be launched. And when there is a no load, automatically the servers will go off. That meaning in the backend of the load balancer, you have auto scaling happening in the backend of the load balancer. Yes, that's a logic. That's a logic. That's the logic is happening. And you are now asking to give the static IP address for the load balancer. Guys, as it is auto scaling is happening, automatically EC2 instance in the back and the service will be launched and then terminated automatically. Na? So if it is going, it is launching and terminating automatically, the IP address will be dynamic or static. Obviously, it will be dynamic. Because new servers will come and new servers will go off. That means dynamic. And you are now asking to give the static IP address. So AWS says that, okay, I'll provide the IP address, but you need to compromise the performance of the load balancer. Yes or no? Because he will give you only the, let's say, for example, 6 IPs, static IPs. Based on your questions and answers, he'll ask you like how many people will be accessing it, how many people, where exactly, what time, peak, load, everything. He'll ask the questions, and based on that, he will give you 6 static IPs. That means, do you agree that he has only 6 machines in the backend which are static? No scale out, scaling is happening. Scale out and scaling will be happening only within the 6 machines. So you are compromising the performance of the load balancer. Load auto scaling will be happening only within the 6 IP, 6 machines only. Guys, we are going in deeper on the AWS side in the backend. We no need to know all these things, but yeah, try to understand. Right? And now AWS has given the 6 IPs. So you will get the static IPs. But what I did, I took the 6 static IPs and then I have given the 6 static IPs to the customer and he added the 6 IPs here and till now it started. It's looking good. But how about for all these customers? My load balancer performance will getting affected here? Yes or no? For that reason, guys, you can have a separate load balancer for this. Right? So you can, there are multiple, there might be a different kind of requirements. So I'm just telling, this is one of the problem that I have faced and I use it. But now we got a very latest technology that AWS has included, invented or implemented. I'll talk soon on this in coming days, how to resolve this static IPs concept. But is this clear till here? Do you agree that load balancer has the IPs, but those are dynamic? Yes. So ELB has the IP addresses, the IP address, but these are dynamic. These are dynamic. So AWS always recommend to use DNS name or IP address. Not IP address. Not IP address. So ELB has a dynamic IPs. If you need, guys, but if you need static IP, then hit static IP, contact AWS support. But remember, I'm putting this also, but keep in mind that you are compromising performance of ELB by getting static IPs. Agree? But to resolve this, we have the concept coming in, don't worry. Is this clear till here, guys? The real times that you, yes. So now let's talk about, we have different types of load balancers. Guys, we have different types of load balancers. So those are, we call it as application load balancer, and we call it as network load balancer, and we call it as classic load balancer, and also latestly they have launched something called gateway load balancer. We no need to worry on it. Gateway load balancer. In shortcut, we call it as ALB, NLB, CLB, GLB. Write down this. Different types of load balancer: ALB, NLB, CLB, GLB. Application load balancer, network load balancer, classic load balancer, and gateway load balancer. So guys, in couple of years back, a few years back, when the AWS was very new, so they had a first load balancer, which is classic load balancer, and now this is now has become previous generation. Previous generation. That meaning it has become old, so it is going soon, is getting off. That means you're not going to use this at all. And guys, usually load balancer supports what protocols? Yes, HTTP and HTTPS. Yes, HTTP and HTTPS, and it supports TCP. Of course, it will go with the TCP also. So due to the few problems, they have launched they have invented new load balancer, which are these two, which are latest generation. I'll tell you the reason. Latest generation. This is latest generation, and this is also latest generation, and this is also a latest generation. Okay. So guys, so here you might get a question as, out of this, which load balancer is most commonly used and which one we should be using it. So guys, I'm telling you the most, and of course this this load balancer works on HTTP and HTTPS, and this load balancer will work on the hardcore. I'll talk about it, TCP. Guys, the default choose, whenever you're creating any load balancer, the default choose 99.99% would be ALB. Default choose is ALB. Guys, which is a default load balancer that people uses? Write down that word. ALB. ALB. So for all related to your, it is best for all requirement, guys, especially even for microservices also. all your Dockers, all your Kubernetes, everything for each and every requirement, ALB is the best because we deal with the application, and that's the reason why we have application load balancer that is best for it. But guys, if you need to go for extreme high level performance, high level performance, then go for a network load balancer. As the name says that it is related to the networking, guys. It is related to the networking. So it is network level. Maybe you are doing something related to the networking concept and you need to have the load balancer to distribute the traffic to multiple components, then you go for a network load balancer. And this network load balancer supports static IPs, guys, because in networking, guys, let's say for example, you have a data center and you have a main server that's in all your components, all your sub servers or whichever the service you have, it will be contacting to the main server. Is it good to have the dynamic IPs to that main server on top, upstream server? No. So for this kind of network relating, definitely you need to have a static IPs. So this network load balancer supports static IPs in networking level. Got it? Yes. And this gateway load balancer is related to the security level. So even this is very newly came couple of months back, which even we have not used. We have not used yet. So mainly, as we will be concentrating more on ALB, guys, in this ALB we have a very good advanced features called routing features, and those two are host base routing. Write down this: host base routing and path base routing. Ignore GLB, Dinesh. So host base routing and path base routing. Guys, everyone, write down this too. Application load balancer has two routing features. What are those? Host base routing and path base routing. Host base routing and path base routing. Let me tell you what is that about. So let's say, for example, here, let's take a load balancer here. Okay, this is the load balancer, and I have EC2 instances. Very bad. Okay. Load balancer is sending the traffic to this. Let's say I have a website here, right? Let's say I have a website. This is my elastic load balancer. Okay, now who is here? Ankit. So here, http://ankit.com. So guys, here I'm trying to access http://ankit.com. Ankit.com. So now you tell me, so I should have that Ankit.com application here, yes or no? Ankit.com application should be here in my EC2, no? Application should be here in the here. It will be good. So now you tell me, it will be there only like Ankit.com. Can it be like web dot? Can we have a subdomains like this? Web.ankit.com, like you have google.com, image.google.com, maps.google.com. Yes, no, guys. So if I need to have web.ankit.com, guys, ankit.com is different, web.ankit.com is different. So can I send this web.ankit.com traffic to this ELB? No, because I have only ankit.com. So is it good to create one more EC2 instance here and put web.ankit.com here? Is it good to put here like this? Web.ankit.com? No. Here I cannot put web.ankit.com. No, I cannot put it because where is redundancy for the load balancer? Right? There's no redundancy. So definitely I cannot go ahead and then do this here. For what? In that case, in order to solve this, what I need to do, guys? I need to create one more load balancer. Yes or no? For web.ankit.com. Yes. So here I have web.ankit.com. For this requirement, I need to go ahead and then select this. So web.ankit.com. web.ankit.com. So for this, I need to have a separate. Hold on, macha. Okay. So guys, this is the ELB. For each and every subdomain and requirement, you need to go ahead and create the load balancers like this. So is it good to create multiple load balancer for each and everything like this, guys? No. So this is the concept of classic load balancer, CLB. So this was the problem where you need to have multiple ELBs, multiple load balancers with CLB concept. Definitely not good. So that's the reason why this is called previous generation, because for each and every application, you need to go ahead and then create a separate ELBs for it. And now, as I said, we have got a latest one, which is what? ALB, application load balancer. So this is application load balancer. Let's see how this application load balancer works. So this application load balancer, this is ALB, application load balancer. Let's say now someone is coming like this, http://ankit.com. For ankit.com, definitely we have our EC2 instances here in the back. So ankit.com, ankit.com. I'll create only 3 servers here. These are ankit.com. So I have ankit.com EC2 instances here. Guys, these are all EC2, yes or no? In the load balancer, what we can attach? Only EC2s only. So I don't write, but yeah. Okay. So if anyone is coming and asking load balancer, this application load balancer, ankit.com, yeah, Ankit. So load balancer will send the traffic to ankit.com like this. Very nice. This is nice. So guys, this load balancer has another concept called target groups. What is that? Target group. Write down. Target groups. Target group. So target groups here. So here, what are the target meaning? Target meaning EC2 instances. Target meaning EC2. So we can create a group, and what is there inside this? Targets. Targets are nothing but EC2 instances inside it. So guys, in here in application load balancer, we'll create a rule. We'll create a rule, right? We'll create a rule saying that if anyone is coming with ankit.com, so it will send like this. It will be redirected like this. Let's say, for example, if someone is coming with http://web.ankit.com. What should do for this, guys? So we can create another group for this EC2 instances. Yes or no? So web.ankit.com like this, EC2 instances. So this is web.ankit.com like this, and then like this. So here we'll create a rule saying that this is called, what rule is this called? Host-based routing. So guys, do you see this? There is a host-based routing here. Ankit.com, web.com. It is related to the host, na? Host-based routing. If anyone is coming from web.ankit.com, we'll create a rule saying that, hey, if anyone is coming with web.ankit.com, the request now redirected to the load balancer, the same load balancer, guys. The same load balancer will send the request to this guy, to this group. And we'll also have a target group there. Yes. We'll have a separate target group. So one load balancer can send the traffic to different target groups. This is a target group. And this target group will have the different application. Here targets meaning EC2 instances. Getting it, guys? Okay. So now I have a requirement such a way that, let's say you will have a requirement like this also. So someone is coming with http://ankit.com/admin. Guys, you'll have a module like this also sometimes, developers, /admin or /path. So this is called path-based routing. If you have this kind of requirement, path-based routing, yes, you can create a rule. If anyone is coming with /admin, so you can redirect it to the /admin. So you can create a separate EC2 instances like this. And then you can put your admin application there. So if someone is coming with ankit.com/admin, so you can be redirected to this. This is another target group. This is another TG. TG meaning target group in shortcut. This is another target group. TG. Guys, you understood? You have only one load balancer. This one load balancer can be used multiple times like this because it has a concept called host-based routing and path-based routing. So based on the rules that you have created, so the rules will be redirected to the, based on that, the rules will be, here it will go like this. Based on the rules that you have created, it will be routed to that, like that, based on the requirement. We will be creating the groups. We should create a groups. Guys, everything we should create it. We should create it. We should put the targets inside it. EC2 instances, we should be doing it. We should be creating the rules. Everything we should add it. Okay, there is a question. You're asking me, Chandrasekhar. Okay, can we add one EC2 instances to multiple target group? Is that a good option? Guys, one EC2 instance in multiple target groups. Okay, now you have one EC2 instance with ankit.com. Okay, now you tell me, will you add this ankit.com here, which the target group has web.ankit.com? Where is redundancy concept? No redundancy. So answer is no. Understood, guys? You can create how many number of groups? A lot. And you have a concept called here listeners, guys, listeners. So on what protocol that it should listen? Our load balancer, it should listen with HTTP or it should listen with HTTPS. And then of course you have a health checks. You have a health checks. Yes. So we need to create only rules, other things. No, we need to, yes, redirections, everything will be taken care by it. So rules, we need to create it. EC2 instance, we need to launch it. And then an application, you should put it. Everything we should do it, yeah. AWS will not do it. AWS will be handling only the application load balancer as it is a service. And all the things we need to integrate and we need to do it. Yes. Any questions? Any more questions? Do you understand the concept of load balancers, guys? Everyone? Clearly? You go mad if you go to internet and read about all these things. But you got it here very nicely. There is a question. Low. Irshad is asking, what happened if load balancer goes down? Is that a valid question? Arey bhai, load balancer is completely managed by AWS na. How come it goes down? Yeah. Sir, how it will happen? How it will happen? Health checks every 30 seconds. How happen internally? How question? How question? You need to hold on until we go to the practicals. But yes, it'll go for every 30 seconds. Yes, of course, Sangeeta, you can go ahead and then join Linux classes. It's free for you. It's not wise to ask me about that because I'm not the right person to talk about Linux things, Linux patches. So you need to check with admin. Any other questions? Are material Gopinath, hold on guys. So I don't share the material everything because there are a lot of sugar patients. What they do is they'll go here and there and they'll see all the things that they try to read in front and they'll unnecessarily confuse it. Once we finish the EC2, then I'll send the material EC2. I think previous materials you got it already, right? Till IAM. Yes, that is fine. Once we finish the EC2, then I'll send the EC2 material so that you can refer it. But do you need really any reference, guys? Everything is going in your brains. Those who are not regular, definitely. Guys, I'm telling you strongly that yeah, more reference, more confusion. Super, that's right. So guys, if you miss the classes, I'm telling you, you will feel very hard to understand. I'm telling you guys. So as I said, please be with me for a couple of months. I mean 50 days or 60, whichever it is. So you will learn the AWS and you'll go. But if you keep on missing the classes and then you'll come back again, definitely there will be confusion. Obviously, that will be obvious. So guys, take the screenshot. No, it's okay, Dinesh. I'm not, but